Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is a live recording of a 50-minute full body flow. I do use my strap today, but find some space to move and let's get started. All right. I am going to use my strap a little bit today. I'll say it's optional, but maybe you have something that you can make your arms longer and you probably will use it a little bit. But I think we're going to start in child's pose. So you can find your way there. Feel free to use a pillow or something if you like to lay on something, but just bring your knees out nice and wide. Your big toes close together. And you can start to lean forwards and maybe push into your hands a little bit. Send your hips back towards your heels. Maybe keep pushing into your hands as you get lower and lower. Until eventually, if your forehead can rest on something, then you can let your elbows bend. Your shoulders soften. And your hips might even lift off your heels a little bit too. Take a slow breath in and out. And just feel the ground beneath you. Feel the air flowing through you. And take another deep breath in and out. We're going to take a few moments here, but you could move your arms. You could bring our right arm underneath our forehead. So you've got a little pillow. And then maybe you can move your left arm either to the ground beside your leg, or it could rest on your low back with your palm facing up. Maybe feeling that shoulder. If you feel like you don't need your right forearm to be a pillow, you don't have to use it. Rest your head on the ground, but just let your chest get a bit heavier. Take another breath here, and if you did rest your arm on your back or beside your leg, start to bring it up. Maybe it's going to come underneath your forehead for your pillow, and then the right arm could move to the outside of the leg or onto your back with your palm facing up. And you let your chest get a little bit heavier. Take another breath here. Then you can start to move your arm back. So you have both of them in front of you. You can lift your forehead up a little bit and then maybe reach the arms further in front. Maybe start to push into your hands again and send your hips back towards your heels. You can keep your chest lifted a little bit, but just look to the ground. Keep sending your hips back. A gentle press into your hands. And then as you inhale, just start to float yourself forwards. Bring your shoulders forwards, your hips up. and tuck your knees in. Tabletop. Spread your fingers wide, maybe sway your hips side to side. And maybe that sway of the hips gets a little bit bigger. You could try to go over top the edge of your mat. Maybe not quite that far. But you get the shoulders into this. They can move a little. And just send one hip over to the edge. And then switch side. And then find your way back through center, back to your tabletop where you can tuck your toes and then lift your knees into downward facing dog. And just push into your hands exactly like you were when you were in child's pose. Push into your hands, try to send your hips up and back. You might pedal the feet a few times. But let your head and your chest get a little heavier. And using an inhale, start to look forwards. As you exhale, walk all the way up to the top of your mat. Inhaling into a half lift once you get there. And exhale as you fold forwards. Inhale, come all the way up to standing, reach up. And exhale, lower your arms to your sides. Take a shoulder roll. And a nice big inhale to reach up. And exhale to fold forwards. Inhale as you lift halfway. And exhale to fold down. Inhale to come all the way up. Reach up. Exhale your arms down to your sides. Take a shoulder roll. And inhale, reaching back up. Exhale to fold down. Inhale into a half lift. Exhale as you fold forwards. And inhale to come all the way up to standing. So reach up. And then exhale as you lower your arms down to your sides. Now we're going to stay standing here for a moment. So you can have your feet as wide as you want, just so you're balanced. Our left arm's going to come up. The hand will come behind the head. And then we'll reach for our elbow. And then maybe your hand comes towards the top of the shoulders, between the shoulder blades, just hugging your elbow. And you're standing on 2 feet. You could sway a little if you wanted to, or just be still. But the feet can be as wide as you want them to be, as close as you want them to be. Just stand tall. Hug your elbow towards your head. Just take another breath in. And as you breathe out, let your arms come all the way down to your sides. Take a shoulder roll, and then your right arm can come up. Hand behind the head, grabbing onto your elbow. And maybe your hand goes a little further down the upper back. But you could sway a little. Or be still. Hug your arm, your elbow towards your head. Stand tall. And take another breath in. As you breathe out, let your arms go all the way down to your sides. Take a shoulder roll if you want one. And then a nice big inhale to reach both of your arms up. And exhale to fold forwards. Inhale into a half lift. And exhale to fold down. Let's plant our hands. We're going to step our feet back to downward facing dog. Press into the hands again. Let your head, your chest get a little bit heavier. Feel your shoulder. Feel the length through your arms. Push a little bit more into your hands. Staying for an inhale. And as you exhale, our knees are coming down. All the way to the ground, to tabletop. So you might start to sway the hips again, side to side. And go a little bit bigger than you might usually do. And you can definitely skip this sway if the knees don't agree with it, or the hips. But maybe you can feel a little bit of a stretch to the outside of the leg, the outside of the hip. And just do one more to each side. And then coming back through center, we're just going to bring the shoulders forwards towards the fingertips, bend the elbows, and lower the chest, the chin, and slide onto the belly. Come all the way down to the ground. So rest on the top of your feet, relax for a second. You might sway your hips a few more times. Stack your palms, rest your forehead on top. So we're going to scooch our legs a little bit closer together. And our right foot is going to start to lift. But I want you to point your toes away from you and keep your forehead on the ground. And see if the knee will lift, maybe the quad. Pretend someone's pulling on your big toe to make your leg as straight as it can be. And it doesn't have to be a high lift at all. Just squeeze. And then gently, gently rest your right leg down and try the left one. So point the toes away, squeeze a little, see what parts of the leg will float for you, all while keeping your forehead down. Kind of soft through the shoulders, but your glutes are working, your low back's working, your core even. You can let your left leg come back down nice and slow, and just try the right one again. Pretend that string's around your big toe. Somebody's pulling on it. Take an inhale. As you exhale, let that leg come down. And then try the left. Find that string around your big toe. Keep your forehead down. Your jaw soft. Let your left leg come back down. One more time on the right side. And bring that right leg down, trying the left. Squeeze and relax. Both legs on the ground. You can move your feet wider too, maybe to the edges of your mat or mat width apart. And just relax everything. Maybe sway your hips side to side a few more times. But then our legs are going to come back together. Scooch them back together and roll over onto your right side. So tip over, maybe rest your head in your hand, and then we're going to find that left foot. So a quad stretch, so you can bend your bottom leg or keep it straight. Just hug your heel towards your glute. And if you're holding onto your foot here, we might try to bring the knee forwards a little bit. Still holding onto the foot. Still on our right side, but maybe the knee can come out from the hip. Just an option. Might feel a nice stretch of the ankle, the whole leg. And if you did lift the knee up a little higher, just slowly bring it back down so it's kind of where you started. You might try to go behind, though, your bottom leg. Just ever so slightly. And then just come on back to where you began, where your legs might be stacking on top of one another, and you can let go of your foot. We're going to tip over onto our bellies. Just to give the hips maybe another little sway side to side. But then we're going to roll all the way over onto our left side. So same thing. Rest your head in your hand. Maybe bend your bottom leg a little bit. Try to hold on to your foot. You might bring the knee forwards just a touch. See how far it will go, all the while keeping the heel nice and close to the glute. I find more of an ankle stretch here than a quad stretch when the knee comes forwards. But if you feel it all, that's great. And you can gently, it's a lot of work to move the leg here. Bring it back though to where you started. And maybe try to go a little bit behind without tipping over. A little bit behind. And then come back to where you began. Maybe the legs right on top of one another. And you can let go of your foot and roll yourself back over onto your belly. Stack your palms again. Relax your legs. Maybe give your hips a nice gentle sway. Now you can move the feet anywhere between mat width apart and nice and close together, wherever you feel the most comfortable, to perhaps try to lift both legs. Pointing the toes away, maybe lifting the shins, the knees, the quads. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Keep your forehead down. Feel your back turn on, your core. Try to pull your belly button towards your spine. Just another inhale, and as you exhale, relax. Bring your legs all the way down. Maybe give the hips another gentle sway, but you can lift your head up a little. Bring your hands by the shoulders, and we're going to press ourselves all the way up to tabletop. So come onto your hands, come onto your knees, and then as you inhale, drop your belly and lift your chest and your chin. As you exhale, round your spine, lift your belly button up, hold it here. Push into your hands, tuck your chin in, lift your belly button up towards your spine. Round your back as much as you can. Awesome work, you guys. As you inhale, come back to tabletop, just a nice long spine. We're going to sit down from here. You might cross your ankles and sit down that way. Or shimmy your knees over to one side and come onto one hip. But have a seat. Give your knees a hug or squeeze if you'd like. And then you might want to have your straps close by. We're going to start, though, in half a straddle. So you can bring your left leg out to the side. So I am going to use my strap. And I'm actually going to tuck it not on the ball of my foot, but under my heel a little bit, because we're going to be maybe wanting it there. Okay, so add your strap if you're going to add your strap. Make sure you're facing forward, still sitting nice and tall. You can point your toes up. You could add a sway of the shoulders side to side. Just get into the hips, stretch the leg a little bit. And then we might try to lift our right arm up into the air. So opposite arm as foot. It's going to come up into the air. Now our arm, we're going to bend our elbow and try to bring it a little bit behind our head. And tip over maybe so that you can touch your strap. Use your other hand to support you. Push into it a little bit. And just take a second to hold the strap. Open the chest. Look up a little. Bend the elbow, and then you might find that you have a little bit more strap to work with than you thought you did when you started. So you can always tighten up the grip. Now, if you don't want to use a strap, that's also a lovely option. You can just lift the arm, bend the elbow, and still a lot of goodness here. The strap just adds a little extra. So if you're leaning to the side right now, if your arm is up in the air, if you're holding on your strap, we're just going to recenter the upper body. So you can let the arms come down. You can even let go of your strap. If you need to adjust your legs at all, you can, but we're going to stay on this side. So just a little shoulder roll or a sway. You can lean forwards a little bit. This is us shaking it out. We're going to do the exact same thing, and it's going to be a lot nicer this time since we know where we're going. So a little tip over towards your leg, a little push into that hand that's on the ground to support you. Lift your arm up. Try to tuck the forearm a little bit behind your head. Again, my strap is kind of under my heel. I find when it's on the ball of the foot for this, it slides off the foot. If you can even look up a little. Just take a second to breathe. Awesome work, you guys. Use an inhale to lift yourself up, unwind your arm, let go of your strap, a shoulder roll, a sway. You can take your strap off of your foot though. You can bring your legs all the way together. And then just keep the knees bent, the feet planted. Lean back a little bit, and let's turn our chest over towards the left side. So a little bit of a twist. With a little lean back. And then you can come face forwards again. Maybe another hug or squeeze of the knees. And then let's switch sides. Let's bring your right leg out. Set up your half a straddle. If you're going to be using a strap, you might set that up now. Maybe kind of under the heel, kind of on that angle so that if you're stretching that strap or pulling that strap on that angle, it's just right under the heel, not sliding off of your foot. But you don't have to lift your arm just yet. Just face forwards, maybe take a sway, a little tip. And then our left arm, so opposite arm to leg, is going to be lifting up, the elbow is bending, and we'll try to bring the forearm kind of behind the head. So you could do the arm first and then try to grab the strap, or do the opposite, strap first, then arm. But use that hand that's on the ground to support you, to push in a little. And if you can look up and lean over and hold your strap, or let your arm be up there without your strap. And remember, we get to do this twice. So a chance to breathe, play around with where you think you might want to be for that second set. Maybe you even want to try with and without the strap. But you can slowly lift up and let it go and move a little. Shake it out as best you can while still in a half straddle. And one more time, with or without your strap. Leaning over towards the leg. A little push into the ground. Lift that chest up. Open that chest up by maybe looking up. Bring your arm nice and close to your head, behind your head a little bit. And a chance to breathe once you've made all your adjustments. Awesome work, you guys. Take another breath here. And then you can slowly unwind yourself, feeling a little bit like a pretzel. That's all good. Let it all go. Shake it out a little. Lean forwards if you want to, but you can also start to move your strap out of the way. And then we'll bring our knees together. Legs back together. Shake it out some more. And then you can lean back, plant the feet, lean back a little, and the chest will turn over towards the right for your twist. Nice work, you guys. Coming back to face forwards, maybe a little lean forwards, hug your knees again. And then we get to lay down on our backs. So find your way down. Maybe a nice slow lower. Have your strap close by though, just in case you're going to use it in a little bit here. But lay down for sure. Bend your knees. Plant your feet. Feel free to sway the knees side to side. Massage your low back. So our feet are about hip width apart. Our arms are going to come to our sides. They can be nice and snug or out a little bit wider. But we're going to lift our hips up a few times. So bridge pose. Start to lift up, push into the feet, squeeze your glutes, and then let them come down nice and slow. Press your low back into the ground a little, and then lift back up. Squeeze your glutes, and then slowly lower. And one more time to lift those hips. And then bring them back down. So pause at the bottom here. Press the low back into the ground. You can keep both feet planted, or the left knee could come towards the chest and that foot can hover in the air. But we've got 3 more lifts, maybe with just that right foot on the ground, or 2. So take an inhale and lift. You don't have to lift your hips as high as you did when you were using 2 feet. And then slowly lowering down. Just a lift again. Squeeze your glutes. And then lower. And one more time. It might be a very little hover of the hips above the ground. And then just come right back down. Let the left foot be planted. The low back press into the ground. And then we've got 3 more lifts. So 2 feet or 1. Right knee could come towards the chest. That foot could float. Lift on up. 1 foot or 2. Squeeze that glute just to bring it back down with some nice control. And lift. And lower. And one final lift of the hips to lower back down. Planting that right foot too if it's in the air. 2 feet on the ground. A sway of the knees side to side if you'd like. Nice, you guys. All right, our left knee's coming back towards the chest, but don't worry, our hips are staying on the ground. If you want to use your strap on your foot, let's get a nice stretch. Send your left foot up into the air. Find the length through the leg. And a gentle press of your low back into the ground. All right, so I said our hips were staying on the ground, and they are staying on the ground. It's our right foot that might be the thing that is lifting. And it's just going to start with the heel. So before we move at all, we're pressing our low back into the ground. So our core is a little bit awake. And we're sending our heel up above us. So we're getting that nice stretch, but our left leg is also awake. That right foot's planted. And you might lift the heel just slightly to bring it down and to lift it up and lower it. And one more time, maybe the heel of the right foot is just lifting and then coming back down. Now just relax for a second. Well, that right foot anyway. Keep pressing your low back down, that left leg lifted. The right foot can stay on the ground, and maybe it lifts. Maybe the knee comes towards the chest and that foot lifts. And then it's coming back down without the low back lifting. So you could do just the heel or the entire foot. Nothing's moving but that right leg. Knee towards the chest, and then away. And one more time, you could lift it up. And then bring it down. Plant that right foot. Press your low back down. We're still here. We're still stretching that right leg. And we've got just one more option. So you can do the heel. You can do the knee towards the chest. Or we can get a little straighter with the right leg. So we'll be sending the foot down towards the bottom of the mat. And then bending the knee and planting it. So we're all coming back to that right foot being planted and the knee bent. So decide what you would like to do and do 3 of them. Send the leg long if you want, maybe tap your heel or let it hover, and then bring it back. Do 3 or a couple extra. Maybe one more. And that right foot is planting. That left foot still up in the air. Point your toes towards your forehead. Take another inhale. And as you exhale, relax the left leg down. Plant the feet. Sway the knee. Shake it out a little bit. You might even be swaying your hips a little bit. Shake it out as much as you can shake it out. And no more surprises. We just get to switch sides. But right foot lifting up, starting by just simply stretching the leg. Lead with your heel. Press your low back into the ground. And now we know where we're going, so if we can keep our right leg doing what it's doing the whole time, our low back connected to the ground the whole time, let's make these movements of the left leg effortless. So, beginning with the heel. It might lift and lower. You might feel the calf a little bit here to help you lift the heel. And lower. And one more time, that left heel might lift. Just to lower. And relax the left leg a little. Nothing else is moving. Low back's connected to the ground. You could do the heel lifts again, or maybe the whole foot as the knee comes towards the chest. And then bring it down, plant your foot. Try not to let your right leg move. Bring the heel or the knee back towards the chest. And then plant the foot. One more time, maybe the knee towards the chest. And then planting your foot. Nice smooth movements. Nice work, you guys. Reset. Feel that nice stretch, that deepening stretch of the right leg. And then decide what you want to do for the final 3. But since we were there a little longer, you might have snuck a few extra reps in. Or if you want to try to straighten the leg first to decide if that's what you want to do. Maybe try it once. Send that foot towards the bottom of your mat. Maybe the heel touches. And then planting the foot. So let's go for some smooth movements here. Maybe 3. Maybe a couple extra. But you're just planting that foot in that same spot between each rep. So maybe that might be 2-ish. And another. And then planting that left foot on the ground. Pressing your low back down again, a little extra point to the toes towards your forehead. Take another inhale. And as you exhale, let it all go. Strap can go off to the side, feet to the ground. Relax. Maybe sway the knees. Maybe sway the head. You can leave your right foot on the ground and then place your left foot on top of the quad. Figure 4. Now you can either lift the right foot up into the air, stick with figure 4, or we can tip over onto our left side with our legs in the figure 4 shape, but our right foot on the ground. Once you're on your side, you can either rest your head on your arm. You might lift up a little to place your head in your hands, still in your figure 4 legs. The right foot can stay on the ground though, and it can also lift. And just for consistency, it might lift 3 times. As long as your knee is happy. And then if you did tip over, lucky you, you get to tip back. Right foot planted, left foot too. Shake it out for a second. And then switch sides. Your right foot can come on top of the left quad. Where you can stay, maybe lift the left foot into the air, but feel free to stay on your back or tip over. Leave your left foot on the ground, roll onto your side, head on your arm or in your hand. Left foot can stay on the ground though, or you can lift it. Check in though, knees are happy. Maybe you're doing 3 little lifts, not touching our legs with our hands. You could be, but maybe you don't need it. And then lowering that left foot, rolling yourselves gracefully as you can onto your back again. So that left foot's planted, and then you can uncross your legs. Nice, you guys. Sway the knees. Maybe you want to hug them in towards your chest this time. You want to sneak a moment in happy baby. You could reach for your feet. Open up your hips. You could still sway side to side in happy baby. But if you've got your legs lifted up in the air, let them start to come back together and feet down to the ground. One leg at a time. You can send them out long and wide. Maybe you're still swaying your hips a little bit here. Squeeze one glute and then the other, just to sway the hips, to relax the hips. You can move your arms somewhere comfy. Your hands might be on your belly or by your sides. And let go of that sway of your hips if you're still moving around. Allow your body to get stiller. Just take a slower breath in and out. Settle into Shavasana. You can slowly start to move. Maybe that's just a deep breath in and out. Or another sway of your hips. You can reach your arms above your head for a nice big stretch. And bending your knees so that you can roll over to one side. Finding your way up to a comfy seat when you're ready. Bring your hands together if you'd like. Awesome practice, you guys. Thanks for joining us today. Have a great rest of the day, and we'll see you all very soon. Namaste.